World War II, the war that changed the world forever. A single spark in 1939 set the entire globe on fire. In just 6 years, more than 70 million people would lose their lives, empires would collapse, and the world would never be the same again. World War II, 1939-1945, was the deadliest conflict in human history. Fought across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific, it involved more than 100 million people from over 30 nations. It wasn't just a war between armies, it was a struggle of ideologies, power, and survival that reshaped the modern world. The beginning of the war. The seeds of World War II were planted after World War I, when Germany was humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, 1919. Economic hardship, unemployment, and national humiliation gave rise to Adolf Hitler and his Nazi Party. On September 1, 1939, Germany invaded Poland. Just 2 days later, Britain and France declared war on Germany. This marked the official beginning of World War II, the Axis versus the Allies. The war divided the world into two powerful military alliances: the Axis powers, Germany, Italy, and Japan. The Allies, Britain, France, the Soviet Union, China, and later, the United States. Hitler's forces swept across Europe with lightning-fast blitzkrieg tactics, conquering Poland, Norway, Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, and even France in 1940. Britain stood alone, but Winston Churchill's leadership and the Battle of Britain, 1940, showed the world that the Nazis could be resisted. The Eastern Front, Hitler versus Stalin. In June 1941, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in history, targeting the Soviet Union. At first, German armies advanced deep into Soviet territory, but the brutal Russian winter and fierce Soviet resistance turned the tide. The Battle of Stalingrad, 1942-1943, became a turning point. German forces were crushed, and Hitler's dream of conquering the East collapsed. War in the Pacific. While Germany raged in Europe, Japan expanded across Asia. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, forcing the United States into the war. The Pacific War saw brutal battles like Midway, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. The Holocaust, humanity's darkest chapter. Parallel to the fighting, the Nazis carried out the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews, along with millions of Poles, Russians, Romani people, disabled individuals, and political prisoners. Concentration camps like Auschwitz and Ravensbrück became symbols of unimaginable horror. The end of the war. By 1944, the Allies launched the D-Day invasion in Normandy, France, liberating Western Europe from Nazi control. In April 1945, Hitler committed suicide as Soviet troops closed in on Berlin. Germany surrendered on May 8, 1945, VE Day. In Asia, the war continued until the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima, August 6, 1945, and Nagasaki, August 9, 1945. Japan surrendered shortly after, marking the official end of World War II on September 2, 1945. Aftermath. A new world order. World War II killed over 70 million people, soldiers and civilians alike. Entire cities were destroyed, economies shattered, and millions displaced. Yet from the ashes rose a new world. The United Nations, UN, was formed in 1945 to prevent future global wars. The Cold War began between the USA and the Soviet Union. Decolonization accelerated, leading to independence for nations in Asia and Africa. The horrors of the Holocaust reshaped human rights and international law. Conclusion. World War II was not just a war of guns and tanks. It was a war of ideologies, human endurance, and unimaginable suffering. It ended with nuclear weapons, but it also gave birth to hopes of peace and cooperation. The lessons from this war still echo today. Unchecked aggression, racism, and hatred can destroy entire civilizations. If you found this story powerful, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to PastQuest for more history content.